This is WSLS 10 at 5.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for WSLS 10 at 5. I'm John Carlin.
And I'm Lindsay Ward. The nation is stunned but not silenced after a week of deadly violence.
Excuse me, one suspect is dead. 3 people are being questioned after a sniper attack killed 5 police officers and hurt 7 more in Dallas. The officers were at a peaceful protest march at the time. NBC's Jay Gray has the very latest on this story and the deadly shooting and the suspects behind it.
The center of the city is still locked down right now. Police and federal agents searching for evidence after chaos and carnage overnight in Dallas. And now, this new information from police.
It's revealed to us that this was a well-planned, well-thought-out, evil tragedy by these suspects.
At least one of those suspects, a sniper from an elevated perch downtown, targeting police.
Shots fired, officer down. It's an assist officer.
5 officers killed, 7 others wounded. The violence erupted at the end of what had been a peaceful march through the city.
We wanted to be a part of something, you know. We wanted to have our voices to support Mr. Castile as well as Alton Sterling, you know, and the countless African Americans that have died.
Hundreds protesting recent police-involved shootings across the country. As the shots continued to ring out, more officers rushed in, cornering and ultimately killing a suspect, 25-year-old Xavier Johnson, using a bomb robot to detonate a controlled explosive. Johnson, an Army reservist who had spent time in Afghanistan, told police he wanted to kill white officers in the wake of recent controversial police-involved shootings. He also said he acted alone, but investigators aren't so sure. At least 3 people are still being held by Dallas police in connection with the attack.
We won't rest until we bring everyone involved to justice.
Justice and healing that thousands are looking for here. Many gathering for a noon prayer service not far from the scene of the killing spree.
We will not shy away from the very real fact that we as a city, as a state, as a nation, are struggling with racial issues.
And Dallas Mayor Mike Rawlings says this time, after this shooting, things have got to change.
This is on my generation of leaders. It is on our watch that we have allowed this to continue to fester.
Oh, it's a sniper from up here somewhere.
Boiling over in downtown Dallas during the deadliest attack on law enforcement since 9/11. Jay Gray, NBC News, Dallas.
Meanwhile, investigations are underway after 2 more ambush attacks on police. One happened this morning in Valdosta, Georgia. Authorities say a man called 911 to report a break-in and then shot the officer who came to investigate. The officer and the suspect were hurt during the gunfire, but both are expected to survive. Then in Missouri, the St. Louis County Police Chief says an officer was shot by a man in his 30s this morning during a traffic stop. The officer is in critical condition. Police don't have a motive at this time.
Officers here are on high alert as well. WSLS 10's Coulter Anstadt rode along with an officer in Danville today. He joins us live outside the police department. So, Coulter, explain to us what you learned.
Well, the officer I rode along with today says after something like what happened in Dallas last night happens, coming into work the next day can be mentally and emotionally difficult. But he says the only thing officers can do is simply come into work with the best intentions, and that is what he tries to do.
We're a lot more cautious.
For Corporal J.L. West, incidents like last night's ambush attack in Dallas that left 5 officers dead have an effect when he clocks in for the first time after an incident.
We're more aware of our surroundings. We'll try to wait for backup on some calls.
He says it's a reminder to always put family and friends first.
That's what you need to take care of first, is your family and your friends. Let them know that you love them, that you care about them.
As stressful as the day after an incident can be, his family and friends and the community are helping him through it.
I personally got several texts this morning, you know, hey, look, just thinking about you, you know, stay safe. And, you know, it affects them. It affects anybody who's close.
It reminds him that although it may seem like it, the whole world really doesn't have it out for police officers.
It helps give you that encouragement when you come to work that not everybody is against you. You know, not everybody is trying to see the bad in us.
While he wishes that nothing like what happened in Dallas would ever happen, he says it does help bring people together.
It just kind of wakes you up a little bit to the reality of, you know, we might not come home at the end of the day.
A reality that, after last night, seems all too real. And businesses here in Danville also donated food to the police department today to show their support for the officers. Live in Danville, Colter Anstadt, WSLS 10.
Thank you, Colter. So Roanoke City Police, along with police all around the country, are mourning the lives lost in that peaceful protest.
Acting Police Chief Tim Jones says the department has received calls, emails, and messages on social media from the public showing their support. WSLS 10's Rachel Lucas is joining us now live. So Rachel, you spoke with him about this tragedy and how it affects the men and women along with their families as well.
That's right, Lindsay. Interim Police Chief Tim Jones tells me that this morning, during lineup of all officers on duty, he addressed the tragedy in Dallas, knowing that it was on the minds of everyone who puts on a badge today, as well as their families. In the speech, he says he told his officers, quote, to remain focused, to remember that they are police officers that are sworn to keep the peace and protect lives, that they still have a job to do here. However, he knows that it can be a very fearful time to be in law enforcement. Today, officers put the bar over their badges that signifies a lost officer. He says they will wear those badges until every officer killed has been buried and read what they call their last rites. He says that reminder will certainly continue to weigh on their minds.
The tragedy in Dallas, while it was cold, it was deliberate, it was ruthless, and I can't think of circumstance in law enforcement to that level in my 35 years. To have that many law enforcement officers killed in one spot is shocking. It's almost surreal.
Now, in a show of support from the community, several members of the community today went to the memorial of a fallen officer that stands in front of the department to honor the lives lost and the work that officers here do at home to keep all of us safe. And coming up tonight at 6, I'll show you my interview with the NAACP leaders, as well as the publisher of Colors Virginia. In studio, WSLS 10.
All right, thank you, Rachel. The commander-in-chief is calling the attack vicious, calculated, and despicable, and has asked the community to rally behind police officers. President Obama says there is no possible justification for these kinds of attacks or any violence against law enforcement, adding events like these show the difficulties officers face while protecting the public.
Today is a wrenching reminder of the sacrifices that they make for us. We also know that when people are armed with powerful weapons, unfortunately it makes attacks like these more deadly and more tragic. And in the days ahead, we're going to have to consider those realities as well.
President Obama went on to say he stands united with the people and the police department in Dallas. Today, U.S. flags on government buildings in Washington were lowered to half-staff to respect shooting victims.
And new information on one of the shootings that sparked this wave of violence. The names of the Minnesota police officers involved in Philandro Castile's death have been released. Castile was shot to death during a traffic stop on Wednesday in suburban St. Paul, and state investigators now have identified the officers as Geronimo Yanez and Joseph Kauser. Yanez and Kauser were not wearing body cameras, but state investigators say they have collected and are actively reviewing several other videos, including police dash cam footage. And now city and state leaders are calling for an expedited investigation into that shooting.
It's incumbent upon all of us to vow that we're going to do whatever we can to see that it doesn't happen, it doesn't continue to happen.
Castile's family is also calling for an investigation by the U.S. Department of Justice, independent of the state probe by the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension.
While the families of the men killed in Minnesota and Louisiana look for answers, some demand justice, while others share a message of peace. Philando Castile's girlfriend, Diamond Reynolds, says the Dallas shootings were not caused by his death alone, and justice needs to be found for all victims.
Today is not only about justice and getting justice, but it's about all of the families that have lost people. This thing that has happened in Dallas, it was not because of something that transpired in Minnesota today. This is bigger than Philando. This is bigger than Trayvon Martin. This is bigger than Sandra Bland. This is bigger than all of us. So today, I just want justice for everyone around the world.
Meanwhile, the mother of Alton Sterling's son is speaking out, denouncing the killing of 5 police officers in Dallas. In a statement, Quinetta McMillan's attorney says responding to violence with violence is not the answer. It continues, we wholeheartedly reject the reprehensible acts of violence. Our hearts break for the families of the officers who were lost. Alton Sterling was fatally shot Tuesday during a struggle with 2 police officers outside of a convenience store.
And across the country, protesters are taking to the streets, but not all are listening to calls for peace. In St. Paul, police say a majority of the protesters gathered outside the governor's mansion are being respectful, but a small group threw bottles and rocks and broke a storefront window and the windows of an unattended police car, leading to one arrest. An arrest in Oregon as well, after police say a man pulled a gun on a fellow protester.
Back here at home, Danville Donuts is showing its appreciation for police officers. This morning, the shop donated 2 dozen donuts to the Danville Police Department after hearing about the officers killed in Dallas. The owner says it's his civic responsibility to show respect for people who put their lives on the line to protect the community.
I've seen probably in the past few years a decline in support of the police department. I know they do a fine job here in town. I've seen their actions, and I know their reputation is good.
American National Bank also donated lunch and dinner to the officers.
Meanwhile, others are taking to social media to voice their opinions on the deadly shootings. Amanda Armstrong says the Dallas shooting was a true tragedy and that hate breeds hate. She goes on to say that we need to learn how to love one another regardless of race. Andre Houlihan is simply praying that things don't escalate, while Alan Perdue says just because this protest was disrupted doesn't mean that they should stop. Perdue says marches are a protected right and they should be taken seriously.
Several events are going on here in Southwest Virginia to help the community come to terms with what has happened. SHPO is holding a proactive rally tomorrow in Lynchburg starting at 3. More details on the Miller Park event coming up tonight on WSLS 10 at 5:30. Also tomorrow, the NAACP is hosting a prayer vigil for the police officers and African Americans who have lost their lives. That event is at 4 p.m. at the MLK Bridge in Roanoke. Mayor Sherman Lee will be in attendance.
And of course, we will continue to bring you local and national perspectives on the deadly shooting in Dallas, Baton Rouge, and St. Paul throughout our 90 minutes of early local news.
Lester Holt will be live in Dallas tonight starting at 6:30 to bring you the latest on the shooting investigations as well. For more on the shootings and how you can connect with the community about the tragedies, you can visit our website, WSLS.com.